I'm gonna get started here. I'm just dragging on the chair. Okay. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was getting some chores done real quick here before the reading. Because the sun went down, so, you know, feel a little better in the house right now to be running around doing stuff. Anyway, and we are expecting a heat wave for like the next 3 days. So, like, I have my dryer running right now. I don't plan on running the dryer tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, at least not during the daytime hours. So. And I do not have a clothesline. One of my neighbors does, but I do not. Does anybody out there have a clothesline at their place? Really what I need to do, because I have, you know, a little laundry area, I've just not done it, is install, you know, kind of like a wall hanging drying rack type thing. But yeah. Here we go. Let's see what we have. No, this card always wants to pop out. I don't know why that is. I feel like it's just, you know, kind of like it's too hot to argue type thing. Like, you know, you could complain, but what are you gonna win out of the situation by complaining? You know, sometimes we just have to take a look at that, right? Okay. Crew. Okay. So you could be going somewhere with a crew of people. You could be assembling a crew. You could have a crew of friends. You could be part of a literal crew, like on a ship or something. Maybe that's your job, to be on a crew. When I was younger, one of my girlfriends, her sister, was working a place where like some of their clients would like float up literally on like their little yachts and stuff, you know, and there were people that were assigned crew of these yachts, small yachts and boats and stuff, taking people around. I was like, that's like a job, you know, like I didn't have any, you know what I mean, anything like that. So it was kind of an eye-opening experience for me seeing that. Yeah, chill mode. So yeah, some of you might be taking advantage of the evenings, right, and getting in chill mode, literally enjoying the coolness, right, getting out of the heat. Okay. Maybe you could be getting a crew cut too for some reason. Okay. To like avoid joining me today, this evening, this nighttime read. See what the conversation deck has to say. This is a deck that I made myself, same as these messages up here. If it's not your message today, don't sweat it, you know. You know, you know, you know. All right. Let's see here. Okay. Vacay. Look at that. Somebody could be planning a vacation. You could have just gotten back from vacation. You could be getting ready to go on vacation, right? And for a lot of people, summertime is vacation time, right? You could be even doing staycations, right? You have a pool in your backyard, or go to some state parks and stuff like that, like day trips, things like that, right? So vacay can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people, but is often the season for doing so. When I worked with the Europeans overseas, I mean, they took a minimum 2 weeks. It's like you're in the middle of this project, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be gone." You're like, "Yeah, well, I have this blah blah," and they're like, "Yeah, well, I'm gonna be gone for the next 3 weeks." Like it's just that's it, like So it's just kind of funny the differences, right, in approaches, right? But a lot of those folks too, when they were at work, they were at work, and they worked long hours too when they were there. So you know what I mean? Some of those vacations are well deserved. Yeah, play. So you could, when you're on vacation, be, in a more playful mode, especially if you are around a fun crew or group. Okay. Pop up. That's interesting. I saw this when I was shuffling the deck a couple times. So collective, you might be kind of more in like say a hermit chill mode, right? And somebody could be wanting to pop up on you while you're doing that. Okay. Yeah. This could be somebody who you dated at one time. Okay. Let's get the Spirit Halloween deck out here and finish this message out with some tarot. Okay. And remember, if this is not your message today, don't sweat it, right? But I mean, vacay, play, you know. And this pop-up too could be about that for you, collective, where it's like you weren't planning on doing something, but then all of a sudden you're ended up doing it, right? And sometimes those end up being the best times, right? Because you don't have time to get worried about it. You don't have time to work up all these expectations, or do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's more of a going with the flow of life, all right, is what I want to say. Um, when I was around family this weekend, we were standing out in the hallway at one point in time, and somebody said, like, "Oh, nobody tells me anything." I was like, "Well, welcome to the family." Do you know what I mean? And I kind of had that experience too in the corporate world. You know what I mean? Because it's like, when you always feel like you're the last to know about something, but really it's because your supervisor in their mind told you, but didn't actually verbally tell you, because they already had that conversation with maybe like one other person on your team. So in their mind, they just like told everybody. And then they're talking to you like you're out of the loop, like you're some dummy. And it's like, hey, fuckhead, you didn't share that information with me. What my mother used to tell me, I'm not a mind reader. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and here I'm doing this, but okay, at a certain point, collective, there has to be some kind of communication, right? Exercising our throat chakra, all right, and that is also something that I was getting earlier, a message. So this trying to say, oh well, what's on my mind and blah blah blah, and this, nobody wins with that. Okay, especially when you are a capable person. You know, I'm not talking about folks that have, you know, and maybe that's something you need to work on. All right, if there's somebody watching this that's triggered out there about it, right? Okay, you know, maybe that's what you need to, you know, be your next uh project, personal project wise anyway. Wheel of Fortune, Inquisitor. Interesting. Wheel of Fortune was in the last reading. So, very positive things coming, collective for you, perhaps while you're engaging in this vacation. And maybe you're doing so because, you know, of some good fortune that has come to you, right? And instead of, you know, arguing about this and arguing about that, realizing that there's no winner in that, right? How about putting something towards, you know, something together, right? So maybe that is, you know, family, or a friend group or something like that, you know. Knight of Swords came out here. So air signs, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Yeah, Knight of Swords might be coming rushing in. Okay. This person may typically run with a crowd of people, and I just want to say that that's not necessarily what they're doing right now. Okay. But that's why they might have kind of a playful attitude, collective, okay, towards things, where you might look at them literally as a barbarian here, as it says on the card. Because you're like, who raised you? You know what I mean? Like this crew, you could be like, what were you raised by a pack of wolves or something like? But you know, I don't feel like it's in an ill will. Do you know what I mean? It's just lacking a total picture of reality, is what I want to say. Okay. Wow, Scorpio again, death card. This came out the other day or in the last reading. Yeah, so collective, you might like really literally be too pooped to party, and that's why you're in this chill mode, right? Like you're looking forward to, like, you know, the kids not running around or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Some of the stuff that it's like when we get really busy. When we have these long daylight hours and we think, oh gosh, I'm just going to get so much done, and then all of a sudden your knees are hurting at the end of the day, right? um so if this person pops up on you, collective, you might be like, you know what, I'm I'm not doing that right now. You know, so you might have a boundary that you're setting with them, and I feel like they're feeling some sort of way about it here with the Five of Cups. Okay, but it's your happiness that's on the line here with the Four of Wands. You know, it's up to you, right? um you know, because especially if somebody is playing in your energy where it like becomes an annoyance, you know, right? And you're like, is this helping or hurting? Right? So if you're thinking, collective, that you need to take a vacation away from that person or that energy, right? Right? You know, that might be the best fortune for you, right? You know, allowing yourself that breather. Okay. I think that's all I have for this message tonight. So please do take care, like the video, especially if you're in the chat today. Consider becoming a subscriber. Remember, you do not have to be a subscriber in order to like the video. Okay. So until next time, please do manifest wisely. Bye bye.